Have you ever filmed something amazing? And then when you got back to edit that video, you found tiny black spots all over your footage? There are a lot of things that can make this happen. Sometimes dust gets inside your lens and you can even sometimes get mold in there. Today, we'll be going over the best way to clean out the IR filter on the Pocket 4K. When it comes to cleaning the IR filter on the Pocket 4K, the first piece of information that you need to know is that there is a hunk of glass sitting over the sensor known as the IR cut filter. But what is this and why is it important? The IR cut filter, or the infrared cutoff filter if you hate brevity, is there to reflect or block mid-infrared wavelengths as visible light passes through. The point is to reduce heat buildup due to the energy that light creates. Think of it as the same way that you would about the heat created by light passing through the lens of a movie projector. Dust particles tend to naturally build up around there, which is what I'll be showing you how to properly clean on your own. Before getting into the whats and hows on this, I'd be remiss if I didn't state that you need to be extremely careful here since you are still working with a sensitive equipment, even though you're not actually touching the sensor. But especially once you get the camera opened up where you need it, other things will still be exposed. Now, I'm not gonna pretend that I haven't been in situations where I don't have proper gear to clean the IR filter. I'd never recommend going all Maverick and just blowing off the dust or using part of your shirt to get that one speck of dust off. That's ruining your shot. I've done this several times when I'm out in some crazy locations and can't quickly get back to a gear bag. I really don't recommend this at all, and honestly probably will get flack for even saying I do this. Look, we all know the rules and the correct way of doing things, but in a perfect world, right? Let's get on to the proper way to clean. As with anything you try to clean or repair yourself, you need to make sure you have the proper tools. In order to get the best prices here, Amazon is really going to be your best friend. The first thing you need is a sensor swab kit. Make sure that you're getting something that comes with the swabs and the solution. You're also going to need an air delivery system to get those loose particles out before you get in there with the swabs. Now, I'm aware that air delivery system sounds like an unnecessarily complicated phrase. What we're talking about is simply something that uses air to push loose debris around. The most common thing that you can use is a manual air blower, which is basically a hollow bulb with a straw on the end. Avoid those compressed air cans that you would use for something like your keyboard, since that uses propellant. You need to be a little bit more gentle than that. So, getting in how you're actually going to accomplish this, you'll need to start by getting your lens off the camera, assuming that you have one attached. With a firm grip so you don't drop the camera, hold it with the front face of the camera pointing towards the floor. Make sure you hold it high enough to be able to see inside where the sensor is located. It's important to note here that you do not want to touch anything in there with your fingers. It's a sensitive environment. From a distance of about 2 to 3 inches away from the sensor, start blowing some air in there to get easy to remove dust out of the way. If you're satisfied that you got all the loose dust out, go ahead and reattach your lens and take some test shots. If you're lucky, you'll be done here. If this is your first time cleaning or you haven't been cleaning regularly, then you'll most likely continue to see those black spots on your shot. This is where the swabs are going to come into play. Take the lens off again and place your camera on a table or sturdy surface. Touchscreen side down. Take one of your previously mentioned swabs, which are going to be flared at the tip. Apply a very small amount of the solution to the corners of the swab tip. If it drips at all, you've used too much. Take the edge of the swab and start swiping it across the IR cut filter, gently, of course, turning the swab 180 degrees with each swipe across. Think about pretty much like a tiny squeegee. Once you're done with a full pass, reattach your lens and do some test shots. Repeat the swab steps as necessary. If you do need to go back in for another pass, do not use the same swab as before. That one is officially dead. It all really is that simple. Assuming that you were less careful than you were supposed to be while cleaning, or you had some kind of other experience in this video that caused the IR filter to become damaged in some way, then that's a piece you would definitely have to replace. Luckily, replacements for those are easy to find and not incredibly expensive. Amazon to the rescue again, but I would also just pay attention to the dimensions and the thickness of everything and really try to find something that is actually Blackmagic's product and not third party for this. If you need to replace the IR filter, you want to be extremely careful because you'll be opening up the actual sensor to pollution. If you find yourself less than confident in your abilities to accomplish this cleaning safely, you can always bring in the Pocket 4K to your local camera shop to have the sensor cleaned properly. But obviously, this will be more expensive than cleaning the sensor yourself. A self-clean only costs you whatever the price of the supplies will be, on average about $10. Take it to a shop and that could run you somewhere in the ballpark of $60 depending on whether or not the person who runs your local camera shop is ripping you off. Overall, I mean, I guess $60 isn't too bad in the grand scheme of things, and it's a good way to protect your Pocket 4K's warranty. The only problem I foresee is that dust gets on your camera constantly, especially if you travel around. It's just what happens. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to our channel below and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all of our videos. Until next time, this is John Owens with Frame Voyager.